everyone. Hearty welcome to the lecture series offered by the Postgraduate Department of English, Pioneer College, Pioneer. This lecture is based on the lesson Matsyagandhi written by Sajitha, which is included as the 5th chapter of the 2nd module of the textbook Nature Matters, Readings on Life and Nature, prescribed for the 2nd semester UG Common Course students of Kannur University as course 2A03ENG. Sajitha is an Indian film and theatre actor who is chiefly known for her contribution in the Malayalam film industry. She rose into prominence when she essayed a pivotal role in the 2012 thriller film Shutter, which was directed by Joy Matthew. This movie won her the Kerala State Film Award for the 2nd Best Actress. She is the head of the Department of Acting at K.R. Narayan, National Institute of Visual Science and Arts, that is KRNNI-VSA, an autonomous institute established by the government of Kerala. Sajitha served as the Deputy Secretary of the Sangeet Natak Academy, New Delhi. The writer is also a faculty-cum-theatre expert at National Institute of Integrated Learning and Management, New Delhi. She received the Kerala Natak Academy Award for her book on the history of women in Malayalam theatre in the year 2010. Matsyagandhi is a one-act play which was written originally in Malayalam. It was later translated into English by late Professor B.C. Harris, who was the director of School of Letters at the MG University, Kerala. The play deals with the problems faced by the fisher community in the age of globalization. Through this play, Sajitha projects the unnoticed and marginalized Arya woman or Aryati. Fisher women are double marginalized in the society. One is due to her sex and other the caste and community to which she belongs. The writer is analyzing the experience and hardship of a woman who had lost her husband in a boat wreck caused by a modern trawler mechanized boat.
മത്സ്യഗന്ധിയായ സത്യവതിയുടെ കഥ നിങ്ങൾക്കറിയാമോ? ട്രോളർ ബോട്ട് ഇടിച്ചു കൊന്ന എന്റെ അരേനെ തിരിച്ചു കൊണ്ടുവരാൻ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് പറ്റുമോ? ട്രോളർ വലകൾ കൊന്നു നശിപ്പിക്കുന്ന കുഞ്ഞു മീനുകൾക്ക് ജീവൻ വെപ്പിക്കാൻ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് പറ്റുമോ? വിദേശ കപ്പലുകൾ ഇടിച്ചു കൊന്ന അരയന്മാർക്ക് ജീവൻ വെപ്പിക്കാൻ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് പറ്റുമോ? മുടിയഴിച്ചിട്ട് കടപ്പുറത്ത് എന്തെടുക്കുകയാണെന്ന് അരയത്തി മുടിയഴിച്ചിട്ടിരുന്നാൽ കടലമ്മ കോപിക്കുമത്രേ. എന്നാൽ എന്റെ ഈ മുടി ഇനി അഴിഞ്ഞു തന്നെ കിടക്കട്ടെ.
When the play begins, the stage is imagined as a seashore and the audience is the sea. There is lighting seen on the stage and this has created an ambience of deep underwater. We can notice a few things on the stage or seashore. A fishing net is hanging from a peg and tiny fishes are caught on it. Next is a flat-bottomed aluminum ball. This might be used for carrying fishes. And another object is a face carved out of earth or sand. The protagonist is a middle-aged Arya woman and she is seated. She is in a frantic condition that is distraught with anger, sadness and emotion. She says, "Gleaming silvery fishes flitting around. They murmur in tune with the rhythm of the sea, falling on my ears. And I keep talking to them like a mermaid." This means shining bright fishes were moving around quickly. They make a sound with the rhythm of the sea and the woman can hear it. She tells that she keeps talking to them like a mermaid. Earlier, she was sitting on the seashore. Now, she stands on her feet. One day, when the fisherwoman was sleeping, she felt restless and haunted by the memories of her husband in the past. She narrates a dream sequence where the ship is compared to the growling sound of a giant whale. She weeps in a terrified manner. The growling annoyed her and she felt like it was shattering her eardrums. Little baby fishes were rushing for shelter under her clothes. All of a sudden, a large extensive net captured her. She says, "The little baby fishes, now dead, kissed me on my eyes and lips. And I saw another face that was being kissed by the fishes, that of my Aryan, my man." Through these lines, we can understand that her husband is dead now. She tells that it was the duty of women to wait for their husbands until they return from the sea. She questions the audience and asks them, "Haven't you watched the movie Chimmin?" Chimmin is a 1965 Malayalam movie directed by Ramu Karyat. It is based on the novel of the same name by Thagazhi Shivashankara Pillai. The film's cast included Sheila as Karuthamma, Madhu as Parikutti, and Satyan as Palani. The theme of the story revolves on the popular legend myth among the fisherman community along the coastal Kerala. The myth is about chastity. If a married fisherwoman is unfaithful when her husband is in the sea mother or Kadalama would punish him. Chastity of women alone somehow started getting synonymous with purity. In the Malayalam movie Chimmin, you have a popular song called Pennale Pennale, where the myth is beautifully described through a few lines. If the women folk are pure and chaste, the Kadalama will rescue their men even in fierce condition of sea. Otherwise, she dooms the unfaithful wife with widowhood. The dramatic monologue signifies that the woman is a victim of modernization and finds it hard to meet the ends. The woman is fully immersed in her thoughts about Aryan, the all-powerful Kadalama, and the deplorable condition of her family. The Aryati recollects her past memories. She says the greatest asset of the fishermen of Kerala is their accumulated knowledge about fish, fish habits, waves, currents and stars, which was acquired through generation of learning. You need different kinds of fishing nets and different methods to catch different varieties of fish. Due to technological advancements, wooden boats are replaced by plywood boats. She reminisces her husband's fishing skills. A vivid and colorful presentation is acquired through her narration to us. The timing of the fishing and the knowledge of the directions based on the location of stars are highly informative and beneficial. She recollects the memories of her husband returning home from the sea with the smell of fish and arrack. She doesn't feel it as a sting. The responsibility and struggle of the Aryati is understood from her advice to her daughter to cook curry and look after her younger son. The woman is a vendor who sells fish and returns home late night. She is conscious of the daily fishes available from the sea and the quality of the fish. She doesn't like the spoiled and rotten fish which were brought with only half the money. The Aryati recounts the struggle she has to go through to get the fish and to get it transported to the market. The difficulty of buying fish from the harbour is narrated with the representations of din and bustle, huge price, the expense for preservation of fish, etc. The stench of the fish becomes a problem to the public, and at the same time it becomes delicious on the dining tables when it is served. The domination and manipulation of male is much exposed in the fish markets. They monopolize the fish market too. These men dress themselves in good clothes and spray perfumes and go around in vehicles. The seashore, swear words and rebukes are often used in the play. The jealousy and intrigues are often coming out from the fisherwoman. The scarcity of water is pointed out, and that's the reason for their fish stench and shabby look. The deplorable condition is emphasized in several aspects. The fisherwoman is sarcastic about the comforts and amenities of the well-to-do who are enjoying life with swimming pools, parks, rain dance, etc. At the same time, they are denied the right to get necessary water for their daily life. They are marginalized by the society and are often looked down upon because they bear fish sting. The narrator remembers the story of Satyavati from Mahabharata. Since she was born inside a fish, she had an odor of fish. One day, while she was paddling her boat, a sage meets her. He gets fascinated by her fish sting. Vyasa was born out of the reunion between Satyavati and the sage Parashara. The atrocity faced by a fisherwoman named Flori is recounted in this context. Flori was raped by the ruffians publicly while she was selling fish in Prashant Nagar housing colony, Ullur, Trivandrum, Kerala. Once again, the Arya woman comes to her Kadalama and beloved husband. Her husband used to paddle the boat with the rhythm of the sea and was an expert in fishing. Here we can remember American writer Ernest Hemingway's short novel, The Old Man and the Sea. It is a story of an epic struggle between an old fisherman called Santiago and the greatest catch of his life. The trawlers with their mechanized large boats and wide nets endangered the Aryan by sacrificing his life. Kadalama, or the sea goddess, was quite blessing towards him and never betrayed him, but his fellow beings unscrupulously destroyed him. The intermingling of their life before and after the globalization makes the story relevant to the present day scenario. Aryati is recollecting the bygone events on the seashore, witnessing abundance of fish, less expensive and fresh, which were transacted at the seashore and markets. The excess ones were bartered and sold off at far-off places. Those days were unique and blissful, with her mother returning home after the sale of fishes. She would purchase groceries, vegetables and eatables with this money. During those days, there were no motorboats, but now the trawler boats are spoiling the lives of fisherfolks by pollution, overshipping and unnecessary practices. The woman comes to know about the construction of a harbour which would facilitate her community with employment opportunities. The innocent poor Aryati was very happy on the news of the emergence of harbour with hotels. Now she looks to the sea walls which created much havoc to the fishing communities. They live in little shacks, keeping their boats adjacent. But these were destroyed in the name of safety for the haves and politicians. Now they are denied to see their own lands. The fisherwoman is quite doubtful about the future of the existence of traditional shores. The caprices of nature were faced with the equanimity of mind, but the intrigues and the unnecessary greed of modern civilized fellow beings become a threat to their survival. These people have nowhere to go. They can't live without Matsyagandhi and the rhythm of the sea. The sea becomes the be-all and end-all of life. The narrator says, "Now that our Kadalama is being snatched away from us by the government, my only hope is this Matsyagandhi, the smell of the fish. To those who visit the seashore looking for a good time, I can offer not fish alone, but Matsyagandhis too, and a whole showful of illiterate, fatherless little Vyasas." This means she is fearful of an illegitimate generation coming sooner or later with the risk of having exposed to prostitution due to poverty. She laments at the loss of the lives of her beloved better half, tiny fishes, neglected seashore, worsened atmosphere, presence of foreign vessels arrived on lease and contract, etc. The woman leaves her hair down for favouring Kadalama to get a boom to destroy the whole trawlers and foreign vessels. She says that the stench on the offshore is not coming from her basket, but due to the wholesale of the trawlers and the decaying dreams of the Matsyagandhis. We get a socio-political, geographical, historical, traditional, psychological aspects of the Aryas and their life through this play. Now, let's move on to comprehension questions. First question. Who is the speaker of the monologue? What is her profession? The speaker of the monologue is a middle-aged Arya woman. She is a fisherwoman. Second question. Who is Kadalama? Kadalama is the sea goddess or sea mother. The Mukuwas believed that she would save their life when they go for fishing. What is the legend presented in the story Chimmin? The legend presented in the story Chimmin is of chastity. It is believed that if married fisherwoman is unfaithful when her husband is in the sea mother or Kadalama would punish him. What was the speaker's attitude to trawler boats? The speaker believes that the trawler boat kills a number of little fishes and one of such trawlers was the cause of her husband's death. What happens to the speaker's husband? The speaker's husband had gone for fishing in a small boat and it got hit by a trawler boat and he died. Sixth question. What is the purpose of building the sea wall? The sea wall, which would be built as part of the harbour, would not allow the small boats to go for fishing. This would have a negative effect on the lives of the people who depend on the sea. Explain the effect of modernization in the life of fisher children. The speaker says the fisher children now starve and they do not have any basic education. Most of them are fatherless and the Kadalama failed to help them due to modernization. Eighth question. Where does the stench of fish really come from? The stench of fish comes from decaying sea and the slaughtering of little fishes. It is also the stench of the decaying dreams of Matsyagandhis. Why does the speaker seek the Kadalama's rage? The speaker stood on the seashore with her loose untied hair. This made the Kadalama angry and she wants this anger to destroy the trawler and foreign boats which would destroy the natural aquatic ecosystem. Last question. What do you understand by the term God's own country? Kerala is called God's own country. But here in this monologue, that phrase is used to show the impacts of modernization. Thank you.